Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss, and today I have for you 5 new Gelly Roll Moonlight pen colors. 5 brand new colors for 2023. I'm so excited. We're going to talk all about the Moonlight Gelly Roll line, and I have a free swatch page for you to download so that if you are like me and you're collecting these beautiful gel pens, you can keep track of which ones you have and have them all organized and ready for you. So let's get started by talking about Gelly Roll pens. Before we dive into these pens, I want to make sure that you understand that we are not sponsored by Sakura or Gelly Roll. I bought all these products with my own money and I'm so excited to share them with you today. Alright, so Gelly Roll is made by the company Sakura, and they have a lot of gel pens in their Gelly Roll line, so I'm going to talk about them really quick. Today we're going to be talking specifically about the Gelly Roll Moonlight pens. I was testing my pens. How do you like that? Testing, testing. Beautiful. I have Steve here with me, who also suffers from full set syndrome, and he's going to be here as we complete the set. Okay, so Gelly Roll by Sakura, that's the brand, and Gelly Roll is the line. And then in the line there are different types of gel pens. There's the classic and the classic white. That's just your basic gel pens. There's nothing really unique and special about the ink itself, just a lot of good colors in this line. Now also in the line is the metallic. We love the metallic. They are so much fun, nice and shiny gel pens. And then here's the Moonlight that we're going to talk about today. And technically in the Moonlight line, there are 2 different lines, Moonlight 6 and Moonlight 10. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Then Gelly Roll also has the gold shadow and gold silver. These are really special gel pens. When you color with them, a color comes out first and then the metallic sheen kind of floats to the top and leaves it with like a 2-tone, really cool effect. So there's gold pens and there's silver pens in their shadow line. Then they have their Stardust line, which is their glitter gel pens. They're beautiful, lots of colors in that line, and so much fun. And I think that's it. Yeah. I'm going to put a link to this. They call it their downloadable brochure, and it has information on all of their different lines, including which ones you should be able to find in stores. So you can flip through this information at the back. For instance, here's the Gelly Roll gold and silver shadow, and it's showing you that there's 5 different colors in the gold line, and you can get it in a carded item with all 5 in one color. I mean, in one type. So this is a really cool resource that, you know, if we wanted to sell Gelly Roll pens, this is what we would look at and decide which gel pens we want to provide. They even have displays in here too, like when you go to the store.
Are the soufflés not there?
No, they're not considered part of the Gelly Roll line.
Oh.
So technically I don't think the souffle line of Sakura gel pens and the glaze line of Sakura gel pens are Gelly Roll pens. I think they're their own special thing because they do special things. Let's talk now mainly about the Moonlight and a few of the cool things there are about the Moonlight. I'll show you my collection of them here. I've got them all laid out. So for the longest time in this Moonlight lineup, there was only 10 colors. And then back in 2020, we had a color release of 15 new colors. There was 5 gray colors and then 10 really beautiful vintagey colors. So here's the 5 gray. And then I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, to right here were the 10 new, and they're not called vintage. I can't remember what they called them when they released them, but they give me such a vintage vibe that every time I use them, that's what I feel like, is it's a vintage set. So now they're including a new set of gel pens, and that's this package here. So that will bring up the total number of Moonlight Gelly Roll pens to 30 different colors. So exciting. Now, this looks like a set of 10 different colors, but it's actually 2 of each color. So I'm getting 5 new colors right here. So that brings us up to the total of 30. Now, within the Gelly Roll lineup, there are 2 kinds of pens. There are the fine line, and they call them the 6s, and then there's the bold line, they call them the 10s. If you look at, let's just pull one of the new ones out. Yeah, we actually had to open it up already because I was going to help Steve create the new swatch chart, and the only way to do it was to open up the package. So, so this is what a Gelly Roll 10 pen looks like now in the Moonlight line. So you get this little symbol, which is actually this right here. It's supposed to be a little moon and a star. It's a little smeared into one character, as you can see. Kind of looks like a bat or something. And then this one has a 10 next to it because it's part of the Gelly Roll Moonlight 10. And that's new too. They used to only say Gelly Roll on pens that are 10s, and then if it was a 6, it had a 6 on it. So I'm glad they're being even clearer with their new pens that these are Gelly Roll Moonlight size 10, which is your bold. So the 10 refers to the 1.0 millimeter ball in the tip of this gel pen right here. So you get a nice bold tip, and in their literature they talk about the 10s being really good for coloring and for paint-like effects that you can create. And that's exactly why I love the 10s. They come out really thick and creamy, and then you can smear them and move them around and blend with them and do all kinds of things because it gives you enough time, because there's a nice thick line of ink, gives you enough time to work with it before it dries. Now on the other hand, there's the Moonlight 6s, and I've got a whole bunch of them here. This is a Moonlight 6 right here, and it says on it, Gelly Roll Moonlight 6, and it has a fine point, and what it is a 0.6 millimeter ball. So instead of a 1 millimeter ball, we have a 0.6 millimeter ball. So we get a much thinner line, which, because it's putting out less ink, dries faster. So if you're doing note-taking and lettering and working on a worksheet for school, then the 0.6s, the 6 ones, are better for that purpose because they'll dry quickly and you won't have that smear effect that if your hand goes across the ink, it'll smear, which we want the smear for coloring. We don't want it for letter writing, right? Okay, so that kind of tells you about the nib sizes, and what's really cool to me is our brand new colors are all bold. They're all the 10s. So exciting. So we're going to have some really good juicy coloring to do with these. Now overall, all of them, the ink for Moonlight pens are pigment based, archival, or fluorescent. If you're working with one of their fluorescent colors, which is this group right up here, they are not archival. They will fade if you put them in the sun, just like an alcohol-based marker will fade if you put it out in the sun. These will too. But the rest of them here, they're archival and should last. They don't say how long in the sun, but they should last better than the fluorescents. And the fluorescents are also reactive under a black light, so you get a glow effect. So, I mean, all in all, even though they're just standard colors, it's not like they're shiny, metallic, dual chrome, blingy pens. These pens are consistent. You saw on my testing how good those are, and a lot of those pens I tested were 5 years old and they're still drying. So the Moonlight line is consistent, very opaque, creamy, beautiful inks. And when I recommend gel pens to people, I usually recommend first you should buy a really big, inexpensive set like the Tan Mint set that we found was our #1 favorite big set when we did our Battle of the Cheap Gel Pens. So when you buy a big set like that, you get metallics, you get glitters, you get neons, you get a little bit of everything all in one big set. But then pretty soon, after you've had fun coloring with those, you're going to want specialty pens. And the Moonlights are the first ones I usually send people to, mainly because of how good they look on black as well as white. Oops, there went all my fluorescents. This roll I'm using to hold them is not perfect for this. I'm going to have to find a little bit of a better way to store these. Okay, so we've talked about why I love the Moonlight pens so much. This package right here, as of June 2015, no, 2023. Wow, I jumped all the way back to 2015. As of June 2023, this pack here costs $16.61. A little bit pricey. I'm going to admit that's pricey. And they said that they should also be available in a 5-pack so that you don't get a duplicate. You just get one of each. But I can't find that yet. These are brand new and just on the shelves of a lot of the stores. And so if you find a 5-pack, that's great. That's all the new colors that you want. And let's show you on these pens what you're looking for in case you want to know. They look like this with the 10. And then the color number is way over here above the UPC code. And hopefully you can see, oh, I don't know if you can see that number, but they're a little different. These numbers have a P on the end for pastel. So that will help us stay a little more organized. This one right here is 420P, the Pastel Pink. But to help you stay organized, Steve has made us a swatch chart. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And it's similar to the one we previously made when they came out with the new 15 colors back in 2020. So this one just adds on our new 5 way down here because it's part of the Moonlight 10 set. So we're going to do some swatching now. And let me show you how this swatch chart works. This top part right here is the Moonlight 6 pens. And then down here we have the Moonlight 10 pens. All the colors, that used to be true, but it's not true anymore. I was going to say all the colors that you see here are also available here, but that's not true anymore. The pastel line, Pastel Periwinkle, Pastel Green, Pink, Orange, and Yellow, those are only available in the 10s. It might change in the future, although I've predicted changes in the future on some of these pens and it didn't happen. For instance, the grays on here are only available in Moonlight 6. So that's why this chart is really helpful if you're going to be collecting the Moonlight pens. It's a free download and there's 2 versions. One has the black printed on it already and one has a section where you can use a black alcohol marker like a Sharpie or Blick or Copic, whatever you want to use, and you fill in the black, and then that way when you swatch on it you get to see what it looks like on both white and black. We wanted to give you both options in case you're trying to save toner, because this uses a lot of toner doing all those black squares. Okay, so let's go ahead and swatch, and I'm going to cue a music montage and just let you watch the beautiful Moonlight pens get swatched down until we reach the pastels, and then we'll come back into real time and look at the brand new colors together. So exciting! Let's get swatching. Okay, welcome back from the swatching. Now we get to do our 5 brand new colors for 2023, the pastels. We're going to start with Pastel Yellow. So that is this pen here. Pastel Yellow, I'll show it to you here. That's what it looks like. And let's see how it looks. One of the things I really like about this swatch chart is that it shows you the difference between the 6 Moonlight and the 10 Moonlight. You can really feel a flow difference when you shift from these pens up here to these pens down here. Okay, that's the new color. It looks like it's a warmer yellow than our fluorescent yellow, so I'm excited about that because we have never had a good Moonlight yellow other than fluorescent. So now we have one that we can use for sunshines and bananas or whatever you want that is yellow.
Oh, it's a pretty color.
It's a really pretty yellow. Okay, now let's see what the Pastel Orange looks like. And that brings me to another thing I wanted to really watch as we do these 5 swatches, is how are they different from the other gel pen colors in the Moonlight series? Are we getting something that's really different, or is it just slightly different? Okay, here is our Pastel Orange pen. And I did 3 straight lines to show you the width of the flow of the nib and to show you whether they flow consistently or not. We didn't have any flow issues until we hit these ones here, and I think the problem is these ones are like 5 years old. They still laid down beautiful color though, so that's something. And we only had 1, 2, this one had a flow issue too right here, so 3 that had flow issues out of all of them, and they're like 5 years old pens, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, there's our orange. Kind of feels like a tinted version of the yellow ochre that we got in 2020. So it's a much more soft pastel orange, and I don't think it really matches anything as far as it feels like we needed a different color. It's very different than the fluorescent orange, different than yellow ochre. We have an orange now. Yay! Okay, next one up is Pastel Pink. I'm really curious about this one because we already have a fluorescent pink and we have a rose up here. So do we need a Pastel Pink? Let's find out. Okay, this pen. 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. Oh, this is a really pretty pink. Look at it compared to the rose above.
Well, what's cool to me is, like you said, they seem to be really good tints, which pastels typically are.
Yeah, that's what a pastel is.
So as you're coloring, you now have something to blend.
Yeah, a light. Like you guys know, I always like to have like a light, medium, and dark if possible. Now we're going to have some lights that we can work in with our blends. So
Well, look how pretty that's going to look with the one above it, the 424.
the purple?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got a bit of blue to it. This Pastel Pink has a tiny bit of blue. So it's kind of like a red-violet tint is what we've got here, which pink is, you know, pink is either red with white or red-violet with white. That's typically where you get your pinks from. So that's a really pretty, very different pink than, I mean, it's even very different from fluorescent. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, next up is Pastel Green. Now again, we already have a fluorescent green, we have a green, we have a blue green, we have a leaf green, a fresh green, which this is one of my favorite of the new colors that was released in 2020, is this really pretty yellow green. So let's see what kind of green we have here with the Pastel Green now. Here we go. Look how, this is first time swatching.
Wow.
And beautiful, consistent flow right from the first time. That's really cool. Okay, that's pastel green, so let's compare it to, say, that green. That's a really pretty light version of that green. And it's very different from fluorescent, very different from the fresh green.
It's very much a blue-green.
Yeah, it's a very light blue-green. Really pretty. Love it. Oh, this is going to make me want more colors. I need to be...
So they won't take 3 more years, huh?
Yeah, I need to be content with my new colors and just use them and enjoy them, right? Okay, last up is this one they're calling Periwinkle. And it's 437p. And let's see what it looks like here. Is it going to be a more blue color or a more violet color? Or is it a blue-violet color? Which is kind of what it's looking like, is a nice soft blue-violet. Wouldn't you agree, Steve? You can't see really good.
I can't really see it.
Okay, let's see if it's anywhere similar to the other ones. There's Pastel, the new one right here. Is it similar to blue? No, it's different. It's different than the ultramarine, and it's different than the lavender.
Yeah, it's a really nice blue-violet, like you said.
Wow, that's really cool. So there they are, our 5 brand new colors for 2023 by the Sakura Gelly Roll people. That's so cool. And now I'm like, I got to do some art with it. And it has to be on black because I want to see. Sometimes these pastel colors, once you get them on black side by side, it's hard to see the difference between, were you using periwinkle or were you using pastel green? So I want to see now if I do a piece of art just using these 5 new gel pens, will they stand strong on their own, or are they all just going to kind of go into a pastel-y mix? So I've got a black piece of paper and I'm going to do a little drawing now. Nothing too complicated, but just enough for us to test the 5 brand new colors. The first step for this mandala that we're going to draw together using the new Pastel Moonlight pens is to get the skeleton or the structure of the mandala established on the page. For that, I'm using a couple different compasses and a ruler. The next step of my mandala is to use my pencil to sort of lay out the general shapes that I want to create in my mandala. This takes a little bit of time and it's repetitious, but it's very relaxing. After spending some time designing out my mandala, I think I'm ready now to grab my 5 new gel pens and lay in the details. Let's see how this turns out. I had so much fun laying all 5 of these colors down in very deliberate areas. I was trying to see if, for instance, the yellow and the orange would look different when on a black background. They're pretty similar, but I was really pleased with the periwinkle and the pink and the green and how much contrast those 3 colors had from each other. Overall, I'm really pleased with how this mandala turned out, especially the little smear sections that I did to get a different shade of those 5 beautiful pastel colors. Okay, so that's the end of playing with our 5 new pastel Gelly Roll Moonlight colors. I'm going to hold up my mandala so you can see how it turned out and how all the colors are very distinct except for maybe the yellow and the orange. They kind of blend together unless I did some really serious laying down of the colors. But that's kind of to be expected, especially on black paper. And if we pair these beautiful tints, these pastel colors with the other Moonlight pens, we'd get even more contrast, and I'm really excited to try that in the future. Steve just walked in. What do you think of my mandala?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you. So I was just saying how the yellow and the orange colors seem to sort of, they don't have much contrast between the 2 of them when they're displayed like this. But other than that, the other colors definitely, you can see where they are.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there and it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's turned out very soft and delicate, which to say soft and delicate on black paper is pretty cool that I can create a soft feeling with black paper and these pastel pens. I just want to say thank you to everyone for watching, and I had a really fun time playing with these 5 new gel pens and can't wait to do more. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Don't forget to come and get your free swatch chart so that you can also complete your full set syndrome and get all of the new Moonlight gel pens. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone. And I don't think they consider them Gelly Roll pens. Whoa.
Rosie, what you barking
She's
at?
never barked like this before. I think it's okay. I think you're okay. Would you like a treat? Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Maybe the treat will help your brain reset. So you can relax. Okay, there you go. Ooh, that was big. Can we get back to filming now? Okay.